Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, apologies for the glare again. There's nothing I can do about it at this point. But needless to say, this is a video I thought was important to get out there right away, following on from my last video. Now, a lot of people out there seem to be looking at the price action for Pulse and pulsex right now on pulsex, putting it up against DAI, USDC, and thinking to themselves, oh my God, this whole ecosystem is shit the bed. I'm able, or everyone is able to get pricing at a way lower price point than we did a year ago, 2 years ago with the sacrifice phase. I should be selling. I should be doing this, that. Let me set your mind straight right now. First and foremost, any pricing that we're seeing right now is inaccurate. A very minuscule percentage of people are maybe lucky enough to take advantage of those price points. The bridge is clogged up. We are window shopping right now. We are looking at, based on a very, very small data set as to where it should be, we are looking at the price that doesn't reflect the interest, doesn't reflect the money that's coming into the ecosystem. None of the metrics that we're seeing right now are accurately being displayed. So while it may look right now that a lot of people out there have the opportunity, us included, to buy Pulse or pulsex, especially at much lower rates than we were anticipating, in reality, it's not really the case. We are essentially window shopping right now. There is a store open in the mall. We're looking through the window. Prices have just been put out willy-nilly just to see how pricing works. And we are seeing very, very low pricing and no way to get at it. Now, are there some individuals, I'm talking again, a very, very minuscule amount of people who may be able to take advantage of these prices? Yeah, I guess technically that is true. But it's almost inconsequential right now in relation to the interest that's out there. The interest from all of us who have been in this ecosystem for years now and are still not able to take advantage of these prices. So we've seen some tweets from Richard Hart. We've seen some tweets from some other folks as well. Some information being put out there that basically tells us this congestion is being worked on. Stop using the bridge. The pricing we are seeing isn't exactly accurate. We can't even really start the stop clock from now. Yes, we can, and we have, obviously. But the pricing we are seeing right now is way, 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 way inaccurate compared to where it should be. Now, there is a silver lining to this. The issues that we're having right now only comes from having a monumental amount of interest right out of the gates. We are working on a bridge technology that has been tried and proved through many other projects over the years, and we have managed to break it because there is such an influx of interest. Now, we've already seen Trust Wallet. We're seeing a few others now come to the table saying that they intend to provide liquidity to help ease this congestion and to start facilitating that price action. That's fantastic news. This, if you even look at the amount of revenue that's congested on the bridge right now, and that's most people waiting, most people not even wanting to get involved in the bridge because it's a stress. Pricing is all over the place and they want to sit back, understanding that, yes, the sacrifice you got into is still going to be a fantastic entry point, as will the next 10x, the next 20x. Things haven't changed. Your mindset shouldn't change just because we're seeing some issues here. Now, I understand a lot of folks out there haven't used the bridge before. Hell, it's new to pretty much everyone. Crypto in general has been around for about 5 minutes. So you can understand how the various entry points and the facilitators of those entry points are even less known as we start getting more technical. We have to understand that this type of scenario really is still fairly new in the grand scheme of things. And a lot of folks who are complaining on Twitter, a lot of folks who are venting, letting their emotions get the better of them, are not necessarily in the know as to how these things work. It's very easy to be misled right now. We're even seeing certain influencers putting out just how far below the pulse sacrifice or the pulsex sacrifice price is right now. And yeah, I guess that's technically true, but it's also very misleading. We're letting people think that this is kind of a normal, a price that is, a price that has come to be through normal means, and that simply isn't the case. This has been a very select subgroup of data and money and transactions that we've seen coming in that's led to these low price points. But already we are seeing some monumental interest, some monumental buy and burn on pulsex. Pulsex is already one of the leading dexes, and we're not even at full capacity. We're not even remotely near full capacity. We have so much interest that even when the bridge is clogged, even when there's a drip of interest and funds that are actually matriculating through the bridge and getting to the decks, we're still seeing higher trading volumes than darn near everyone. Um, that's fantastic. I don't think a lot of people seem to understand just how important this is. This is massive. And if it's an indicator of the interest to come, if we can remain even remotely consistent over the next months to year and a half to 2 years, it is going to mean some fantastic price appreciation. Now, let's look at the here and now. You've probably seen some of the tweets coming out from people that are a little bit more technically minded, perhaps, than the most of us, like a K4K, for instance. When analyzing the liquidity right now, as soon as that bridge opens up, relatively small amount of purchase orders can really look to pump that price very, very rapidly. So I'd go as far as to say that if we get closer to congestion being eased up on this bridge, the pricing we're looking at now is not going to be available. A lot of people right now, myself included, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe there's a slight chance we can make it through the bridge and take advantage of these real awesome. That's not going to happen. I mean, look, we're going to be in a situation where the majority of us, the vast, vast majority of us, even if you have money on the bridge right now and you're not just simply kicking back and relaxing through the whole shenanigans that are going on right now, if you have money on the bridge, that is eventually going to come through. It's going to make its way to the other side and be eligible for transactions. And you're not going to be looking at the same price that anyone's looking at now. So don't be dismayed. You're not missing out on anything, really. I mean, again, it's all technicalities. Technically, yes, a very, 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 very small percentage of folks are maybe able to get involved in some of these price points, but it's almost erroneous when you look at the coming days, weeks, months ahead. So I hope this sets a lot of minds at ease right now. Take the positives from this. We have seen such a huge amount of interest right now, more so, I think, than we were anticipating right out of the gates for pulsechain, that it is inevitable that more and more entities, more and more crypto entities, wallets, exchanges, they are going to be forced, their hands are going to be forced to get involved in this because they're seeing just how much traction there is. No one wants to miss out on that. So we're going to see some, as soon as the floodgates are open, we're going to see some massive interest, some massive price movement, and it's going to happen fast, you would think. So kick back and relax. What I would say is, again, there's a lot of very knowledgeable influencers out there who know what they're doing. They're publicizing price action right now because it makes for some good engagement. It's very easy to get people to panic. It's very easy to get people to adhere to, kind of what you're saying. Because on paper, I guess it makes sense. A lot of folks out there will lower their expectations based on some of the price movement right now, and then it's very difficult to be wrong going forward. If an influencer says it's only going to do a 30x or a 50x, then of course, it's appealing because it's difficult to be wrong in those instances, and they're going to gain credibility. Look, nothing has changed in my mind in terms of where I think the project's going, how many X's I think it's ultimately going to do in the short, mid, and long term. This hiccup, if we can call it that right now, is temporary. And if anything, it's highlighting just how much interest is out there. It's creating its own news ammunition. pulsechain got so busy with interest that it clogged the system. That's fantastic. I mean, look, you take the silver linings as they come. So stay with it. And for God's sake, do not buy Pulse or PulseX from certain predator influencers out there that are selling it. It's almost ridiculous. You may have seen my tweet, but you can certainly see someone's personality when they're trying to capitalize off their own community in times like this, where people don't understand that they're not getting a good deal. So if you're paying a 10 or 100x, even I've seen on the sacrifice price, that is quite simply someone trying to capitalize in the moment on their community. It's a vulture mentality. Do not fall for it. You'll never see me doing it. And if you do, it's a copycat. So report it, because that to me is the worst of the worst you could possibly do. And so don't fall for it. I'm seeing people in on Twitter in the chat just, hey, thanks, man. I'm sending it through now. Thanks for getting me on the pulse ladder. It's not a good purchase. Don't do it. You're paying through the nose just so someone can capitalize on you right now. Opportunities will come. This will ease. You just have to be patient. I'm ranting a little bit right now, but these things seriously annoy me, and they should annoy you too. So everyone watching this, please be patient. I am not an advocate for this whole thing. I'm not an ambassador. I'm not paid. I just simply understand the tokenomics at play. I understand, which I think a lot of us are becoming more knowledgeable about this now. I understand that the bridge is really the only catalyst right now to interest, and it's clogged. As soon as the highway opens up and the traffic's able to flood through, that's when we'll start getting some accurate numbers. Right now, it's not accurate. And again, I'm using the word technically because technically it is representative of the purchases that have taken place, but that's such a small, minuscule amount of transactions that have taken place. It's not an accurate data set to pull from. Look, I come from the VC world. When I'm analyzing a company, I wouldn't even dream of analyzing it right now based off of the price performance. I'd be looking at the interest. I'd be looking at the engagement in the community, the potential network effect. Metcalfe's law comes into play dramatically here. And trust me when I tell you, all those indicators are in the green. Everything that matters right now for anyone who didn't intend to sell day one, day two, stupidly, all of the indicators are pointing towards a very successful project and an ecosystem. Now, look, anything can happen going forward. We've seen this before. I'm not your financial advisor. It's important to say. I'm simply giving you my mindset right now. And my mindset is things are going very, very well. The only thing not aligning right now is the price or the prices, because we're not accurately representing the interest yet. As soon as we do, we'll start getting accurate pricing. I will do my best to tell you when that is. But it's going to depend on people having access and having their interest be facilitated. Be patient. That's all I can say. Wait a couple days. Hopefully, this gets remedied in a couple days. You're not missing out. Just because you see the low prices right now does not mean it's a benefit to you to throw some money into the bridge and have it sit there. And then by the time that comes, turns into usable revenue, prices are already sky high anyway. You're not missing out on anything. I don't think that any pricing is going to be below sacrifice price for long at all once the highway opens and traffic's enabled to come through. But look, just my opinion. Take it as you want. But I hope for a lot of you, it kind of brought a little bit of context to what we should be thinking here, or at least what I think we should be thinking. Don't fall for the FUD on Twitter. It's actually pretty good that we're seeing this FUD, because if everyone was of the same mindset and we didn't have those idiots selling out and ridiculously low pricing, there would be less opportunity for the rest of us. Because of that, because they have pushed price down, because they have sold out the earliest opportunity, even if it meant taking a huge loss on their initial funds that have been invested, it positions us a lot more strong. You don't even have to be diamond handed to outlast these folks. They got in, panicked, and didn't understand and sold instantly, which is, great for us, but really, really bad for them. Don't fall into that same boat. But I hope this helped. I'll put some more videos out there soon, giving you my take, my context on how this thing evolves. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of the comments. As always, please do like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. And also, again, I am looking to put together a private group. So if you are able to email me, bencage@yahoo.com, just put in the subject line portfolio, and I will then know you are interested. I have been adding a lot of people to this, and it's great. I've seen a huge influx of interest, which is fantastic. And I'll be looking to put some more effort into that in the days and the weeks to come. So make sure you hit it up. And I will catch you on the next one. Stay calm, stay cool, calm, and collected.